Hey YouTube friends, it's been a while since I posted a video, and my granddaughter's been kind of after me to, Grandpa, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I said, okay, great, I will get busy and do some more videos. So as many of you know, the channel is kind of about my lifestyle. So basically, just turned 70 a couple months back. It looks like life's changing all the time, so I'm kind of easing into some different things, maybe some things that aren't quite so strenuous for my old body, but some things that I've always had an interest in, and so I just kind of wanted to get back here and show you kind of what I'm doing today. So today I'm working on cleaning and doing some minor repair on the clock for my nephew. So as you can see in the background here, he got this clock from, came to him through the family, and he's had it on the wall and hasn't run for a long time. So I told him I could, get it running again. So he said, well, hey, great. So eventually I got it, and I've had it for quite a few months now. But as you know, I've done lots of things that are going on in my life, lots of other projects. So as I'm finishing projects, I'm finally getting around to get this together. And some of the things were, when I got the clock apart, I realized there were some things that needed to be repaired, replaced, that I didn't have a tool for, or something like that. So I've bought a few tools, because I know there are things that I'm going to need for the rest of the clocks that I'm working on. And kind of as I cruise a little more into my senior years, something I can do at the bench, not quite as much physical, and it keeps my mind going. My background's mechanical. I got into electronics kind of by accident, but so the mechanical thing feels, it feels at home, and clocks are that. So let me give you a little bit of show you kind of what I'm doing, where I'm going with it. So the first thing, so let me turn this thing around, and we'll show you some more of what we're doing here. So as you can see, this is a clock. So the first thing that we do is we take the face out, which is right here, and the pendulum off, and then that exposes the actual clock works. And this had all the clock works at one time, but I disassembled it and put all the parts through an ultrasonic cleaner, so they're all clean. Got all the grease and stuff completed or cleaned up. And then there was one little bushing. Let's see here if I can get close enough. If you can see, let me get something I can kind of point with. If you can see right in this area right here, there's you can see the kind of a little donut. Well, if that wear spot gets too big and gets too sloppy, it makes the clock not work as it should, and it builds up grease and dirt and stuff and gets stuck. So what I had to do was, this was one of those areas. So it was elongated, the hole was elongated. So I basically, when I took it apart and cleaned it, then I took a little reaming tool, reamed that hole out so it was nice and clean, and I put a little bushing in, which is the little donut that you see there in the middle, and replaced that. So now we've got a nice clean socket for that gear to run on. And if you look here, this clock's been worked on before. So there's one here that's been redone. There's one right here. There's one right here. So there's been several worked on, as has been worked on before. But this is an old Sessions clock, probably 1890s. I haven't looked up serial numbers to see, but that kind of gives you an idea. So what I had to do is basically take the spring out. Spring was in good shape. It was just really dirty. So clean the spring. Then I'll use this little machine here to rewrap the spring onto this. There's a couple little hooks that will hook the back of the spring As you can see, there's a little pin here, so that goes on one of these hooks, and then we can hook it back on this little pin and then rewrap that, and then we put one of these around the spring to hold it, keep it from coming apart, so that then we can then bring it back in and put it into the movement. And then once we get it in the movement and get everything tied up, then we can tighten the spring, and that'll release this, and we can kind of work it out of the mechanism. So so that's kind of what I have going on. So these two little tools over here, this little machine here is what I use to hone out the hole to put in a bushing and press a bushing in. And this one is here's what you use to unwind the spring, because there's a lot of force in that spring. So you wear heavy gloves and be careful, but this just makes it a little bit easier to get it unwound and wound. So so that's what I'm working on here. Hopefully I've got this under control and I can have it taken care of here this afternoon. But that's my video for today. So I'll let you go now, and when we come back, we'll show you what it looks like put back together. Maybe I could give you just one more little piece of detail here. This clock has one spring, doesn't have a chime. This clock mechanism, if you can see here, it has a spring here and a spring here. And it also has this little ring up here at the top. So this has a spring for the time, to keep your time, and this spring here is for the chiming. And then there's another little mechanism that is an alarm, an early alarm clock. So you could use this dial up here to set the time, and then it would trip. And let's see here, I think it's this one here. So it will it'll start to, you can see it's ringing an alarm. So this is kind of what the other one looked like before I cleaned it. So this one is the next one up on the list to work on. A little more complicated, a little more parts, but this one has had some work done on it as well. So you can see some of the bushings have been replaced in a couple of these. So a lot of these old clocks, if you keep up with them, they'll run pretty much forever. But anyway, that's my story for today, and look forward to seeing the thing put together and ticking away.